Is your cat known for taking quite the posture when threatened? Does your cat arch that back during times of fear and anger, even during times of great annoyance? In this video, we'll talk about the reasons for that arched back posture and just what exactly are felines attempting to accomplish by striking the pose. Interesting topic, and I've got you covered. Stay tuned. The arched back pose, often known as the Halloween pose or the fear pose or posture, as I mentioned in the introduction, cats will often assume this posture when they're angry, fearful, and just not the happiest campers in the world. If your cat turns the corner and finds something a bit intimidating, they could feel rather startled and arch that back. But what exactly is the point? Outside of it being a natural reaction, is the visual itself, is it deliberate? Yep. Yes, indeed it is. This is especially true if your cat is feeling rather feisty and aggressive. When felines aren't really in the mood for fun, and let's say another cat has invaded their space, let's say another cat perhaps in your neighborhood, that arched back is a signal. The objective is to provide or display a visual of intimidation, because while the cat could feel uneasy, fearful, and intimidated themselves, what's that old expression? Never let them see you sweat? The arch back posture is designed to make the cat seem, well, larger, scarier. If a cat bows up, the goal is to make the other person, the other cat, other whatever it is, feel the fear. Say that 3 times fast. The objective is to shift the energy and make them, whoever they are and whatever they are, retreat. The arch posture, outside of the attack posture, with those ears pinned back, it's one of the last resorts, let's call it, the cats will display before an actual physical attack does take place. Convincing the enemy that you mean business. Now, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but that's the goal. Look big, look tall, look mean, look scary. Roll the dice and hope it works. Of course, some sound effects never hurt a thing. It's not uncommon to see some strong displays of teeth, in addition to hisses and outright growls, those deep yet loud verbal displays that could pass for car alarms. So much of feline aggression and fear, it often is nothing more than high theater, if we're honest. Fighting is the last option. Cats can have standoffs for half an hour. If you've ever seen one, you know what I mean. Sometimes they can actually be rather humorous. A few years ago, I saw 2 cats face off, arched back, sound effects, the works, but neither cat really made a move. In fact, one cat fell asleep. Fell asleep, that's right. Hey, if we're not going to throw down, then I'm going to take a nap. Sounds like a plan. As an owner, unless you find that your cat is in honest and true danger, all jokes aside, it's best to simply observe from afar. Now, if a known aggressive cat is in your property or on your property, do everything possible within responsible means to make sure that cat leaves as soon as possible. However, if your cat is simply in a mood and that arched back posture is meant for you or someone else in your home, family, friends, peers, what have you, simply stay away, never ever force the issue. If someone comes over, let's say someone from your workplace, and your coworker attempts to pet your cat and is met with the arch posture, some hissing, the whole display, make sure that person is a one and done. Make sure they don't try that again. Sometimes when it comes to feline behavior, you really have to pick your moments. Just because your cat is bowing up doesn't always mean that you have to get directly involved. In fact, depending on the circumstances, giving your pet space, that's the best option. On the board more times than not, actually. Today's topic is about back arching while being threatened or feeling threatened. As an owner, it's going to be your job to do the very best of your ability to figure out the real threats from the fictional. Your cat could very well be bowing up over something that's not even real. If your pet turns the corner and sees some type of ceramic turtle on the floor, and yes, I have one, that's why I use the example, that's not a cause for concern. Your cat could bow up all day. That ceramic turtle, they're not going to attack. Trust me. I talk a lot here on the channel about feline body language. If you've got the goods, the knowledge, and you really know the cues, that can carry you about 5 steps ahead with respect to responsible and proactive ownership. Knowing what the arched back means, especially if other cues are indeed given, This can give you a glimpse of your cat's state of mind in that moment. And from that moment, you can know how to act, or depending on the situation, if you should even act at all. And while cues are very important, especially when it comes to the archback, you don't want to confuse your cat feeling threatened when what you're witnessing is simply a case of your cat stretching, stretching that back after a nap. Take in that whole visual. Look at your cat's ears. Are they pinned back a bit? Listen for the groans and the growls. Do you hear hissing? Is your cat's fur standing on end? If you're a novice owner and you're in the very early stages of caring for a feline, knowing what you're looking for, it can play a major role in knowing what move comes next. Because I realize that here at Senior Cat Wellness, we're all different. Some of you are watching this video and you follow this channel because you love cats and you own several and you've perhaps owned a dozen over the years. You are a pro, well-seasoned. You could teach a class on all of this. Others, let's say you've got a cat, but it's your first cat and you're learning in real time. If this is you, let me say, there is no such thing as a dumb or silly question. Never ever be afraid to ask. And for the rest, you've never owned a cat. You never plan to, but you just love cats. You love seeing footage of cats and pictures of cats. So that's why you're here. You just love those cats. The point being is that I never know who I'm reaching. That's why it's always important to me on a very personal level to detail the simple, detail the easy. Why? Because, hey, we all start somewhere. It never starts easy, and that's why everything needs to be discussed. And for today's question and today's answer, cats arch their backs when they're threatened because they're attempting to win the moment, to make themselves look bigger, appear bigger in size, to change that energy up, to come off themselves as a source of fear. The hope, the goal, the other cat, the other dog, the other person will retreat before further action has to be taken. Because, contrary, I guess, to some popular beliefs, cats, they really don't like to fight. They'll avoid it if they can. And one way to do that is by bowing up and arching that back. To the audience of Senior Cat Wellness, if you are an owner, do you know this posture all too well? Any interesting stories to share, general comments to make? If so, that comments section, as always, it's all yours. And if you enjoyed this content, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you as a member of the Senior Cat Wellness family. And until next time, thank you so very much for watching. And as always, I will talk to you later.